The coaching carousel has been spinning around the state. One place that it stopped yesterday was in Navasota, Texas. Navasota has a new head coach, and it's a familiar face. Mm-hmm. The new head coach of the Navasota Rattlers is Coach Casey Dacus, and he joins us right now. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Tell me what the last 48 hours have been like in your world.
It's been pretty crazy. It's pretty exciting. Anytime you get a chance to go back home and have an opportunity to lead the program there, especially one like Navasota, you're fired up and excited about it and ready to go. And so that's kind of where we are right now. We're fired up.
You mentioned that it's a homecoming for you. You're an alum, and of course the Dacus name is. You guys are pretty much all over the place in that town. Your father, Mike Dacus, was coach and AD there for 23 years. So for you, from a personal perspective, what does it mean for you to be able to take over this program where your family does have such history?
It means a lot, and it just speaks a little bit to, well, probably quite a bit to my mother and my father's history there, and how much they were liked and how well they were received. And, I went my entire educational structure from K through 12 was at Navasota ISD. And so, it's really cool and it's really special for me to kind of get a chance to go back and kind of to get an opportunity to lead the program that my dad, had a chance to lead. And it's just a really cool deal. We're just really excited.
And of course, your father, Mike Dacus, is now an assistant for the Tarleton women's basketball team. What does he think of this? What does he think about you getting his old gig?
He's happy. He's funny because he tries to stay out of that kind of stuff as much as possible. And I don't think he wants to influence it one way or the other. But once it became official last night, I think he was pretty proud and pretty happy. And we talked for a little while last night, and he was, being a typical father, trying to give me things that I needed to try to look into and start to get going on pretty quick, and just kind of helping me with his experience. And so I was appreciative of that, and I'm looking forward to be able to lean on him a little bit as we move forward.
You had, of course, there is another side to this. You've been the Graham offensive coordinator for the last 7 years, some high-powered offenses there. As excited as you are to take over at Navasota, are there some mixed emotions as far as leaving a place like Graham?
There are, and that's a really good question. It's really bittersweet for me in some ways because Graham's a really special place too. And we've been here the last 7 years, and my family and I have really enjoyed it here. And honestly, we haven't really tried to leave. We hadn't tried to apply anywhere or to go anywhere else, just because the kids here are great. They're blue collar kids. They work and they're very coachable. They do what you ask them to do, and the community is so supportive. And obviously, coaching for Coach Kenny Davidson, he's been great to work for. It lets us do what we want to do for the most part, and he's real supportive as well. So it's going to be bittersweet, because of that. But again, when you have a chance to go home, a lot of times you got to jump on it, and this is one of those times.
We're talking with Casey Dacus, the new head coach of the Navasota Rattlers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Coach, I do want to talk a little bit about Navasota, but before that, I got to ask you about a player that you coached this past year, your outstanding quarterback, Tucker Horn, who we were so impressed with. He signs with Abilene Christian. I'm just saying, coincidentally, your alma mater. I'm not accusing you of anything, but for maybe for Wildcat fans who may be excited about their new quarterback, what can you tell them about the guy they're getting in Tucker Horn?
He's a special kid. He's very, very, very intelligent, and his leadership ability is off the charts. The best teams, and everybody knows this, but the best teams are led by their players. And the coaches lead, some pretty good things. But when you have a chance to be special, there's players that take ownership and kind of grab the reins. And that's what he did for us here in Graham the last couple of years. But he really took off. It really started last spring, when I was watching him, start running some 7-on-7 drills. And he just kind of took ownership of the situation. And I could tell he was going to have a big-time senior year. And he's just a great kid. Can't say enough good things about him. The kids here really like him because, everybody's the same in his eyes. He treats everybody that way, and he treats everybody well. And so his intangibles, that's really, to me, what sets him apart. And obviously he's got good physical ability, and he's going to have a chance to play the next level. And we're fired up for him for that. And he's going to do well in whatever he chooses to do.
You start your new gig on Monday. When you meet up with your team, when you meet up with your new players, what's your message going to be to those guys?
It's going to be let's get to work, and Navasota's got a history of being a really good program, and the last couple of years they've kind of not a whole lot, but a little bit have kind of come down a little bit. But we need to get back to the level that we expect to be at, and so it's going to be a message of let's get to work and let's do what we need to get done to be successful starting in as soon as possible. Really, not even 2018, but now, immediately. So I'm excited about it. We're going to be fast paced and tempo, and the same things you probably hear from several different guys. But we're going to attack it on Monday that way, right away, and we're going to get going.
And you mentioned the tempo. You mentioned you guys are going to be attacking. You guys at Graham last year averaged more than 50 points per game, 51 points per game. Is it fair to say that we can expect the same kind of high-powered attack coming to Navasota?
I certainly hope so. That's the plan. And, you're only as good as your kids, but I know that Navasota's got a long history of having really good athletes, really good kids. So we certainly anticipate trying to duplicate that as best we can.
On the other side, you're an offensive guy, but that's only half the game or a third of the game, depending on what you think of special teams. So I want to ask you about defense. What are we going to see from this Navasota defense? What's your plan on that side of the ball?
We're going to be an attacking defense, and it's going to be a deal where we're going to have to figure out personnel-wise what we're best at, whether we're better, with an odd front or an even front, and kind of adjust and kind of go from there. But I know the last several years, I think they've played an even front defense, and I anticipate that's probably what we're going to start in with this coming year. And we're going to be an attacking defense. We're not going to sit back and let teams dictate to us. We're going to try to dictate to them. So we're going to try to have that same philosophy, on offense and defense, of just kind of being the aggressor and trying to take charge. We're
talking with Casey Dacus, the head coach of the Navasota Rattlers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. All right, Coach, I know you're a busy man. You got a million things to do, but I got to ask you, you guys are going to move from Graham to Navasota. It's not just a move for you. It's a move for your three kids, for Camden, Jaden, and Colin. And it's a move for your wife, Jody. Now, I've been doing some digging.
Oh, no.
Your wife, Jody, is a Huntsville alum. Okay?
She is.
She is a Huntsville. She's a Hornet. You, of course, a Navasota alum. Huntsville and Navasota have a history. They have played a lot. In fact, but they have not played, according to our records, they haven't played since 2000.
Right.
My question: are we gonna revive this rivalry? Is your wife already pushing, being like, listen, we gotta
the Dacus Bowl?
We'll get the Dacus Bowl going.
No, I don't know if we will or not. Honestly, I'll have to talk to the guys at Huntsville about that, but I wouldn't anticipate that would be on any front burner, so to speak. No, my wife and my kids they're very excited about it, and my wife, obviously being from Huntsville and her family being that close, she's really fired up about the opportunity to be able to see them a lot more often. So it's going to work out really good for us, and I think she's going to be probably wearing blue for the most part. Listen. So if I can keep her out of that green, we'll be in good shape.
That's a smart man. That's a smart man. He is Casey Dacus. He is the new head coach of the Navasota Rattlers. Follow him on Twitter at @RealCaseyDacus, and don't follow those fake Casey Dacuses out there. Coach, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the new gig. Best of luck on Monday and in the offseason and down the road.
Thank you very much, Greg. I appreciate you guys having me on.
There he goes, Casey Dacus, new head coach of the Navasota Rattlers, joining us here. See, I did a little bit of digging, a little bit of research.
You're a snooper.
I'm a snooper.
You like to snoop.
But, look, anytime we can get a situation where the coach is coaching one team and he's coaching against the alma mater of his wife or his dad.
Yeah, for sure.
Or something. Brother.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what I'm here for. Okay.
Yeah. I'm with you. I was going to throw in that maybe Jody thinks he's chicken. That's why he's not going to make that happen. That would have been... That would have been good. I don't think he is.
I
think this is what works for
them.
It's
very, very exciting for Navasota. A new man taking over in Casey Dacus, and as we mentioned, there are a few names in Navasota that mean more to that community, like Dacus. I mean, his dad is a legend there. Took him to an '88 title. Took him to a couple basketball titles, I believe. That is a big time name for them, and this seems like a really, really good fit.
Yeah, there's going to be pressure, no doubt, right? They're not that far removed from a lot of success. Mm-hmm. You know, 2 state championship berths. I think they win both of them, or won one of them.
Won one of them.
So but I think he knows that going in. I think he's excited to to perhaps put him back in that position, and they did it with a high-flying offense,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what they're used to. He's not going to deviate far from that, so I think they got the right guy.
We're excited to see what happens down there in Navasota.